Good morning. My name is Seafood Dave Charles from KaJuKenBo Napoli in Naples, Italy. I've been wanting to broach this subject for a while, and I'm just not sure how to do it. So I sat down and gave it some thought last night, and I figured I'll just share my thoughts and hope that maybe it would generate a conversation. And my hopes are that you'll all engage, whether that be by your comments below in the comments section, or an email to KaJuKenBoNapoli at gmail.com, or making a video of your own, or just giving it some thought and incorporating your own conclusions in the training that you provide to your students. In any case, I hope that this video will add some value to you and that you can get something from it. I thank you as always for your support, your input, and your comments. If you like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and the notifications bell so you don't miss any future content moving forward. With that said, let's talk about this violent world and what we can do to make a difference. Today's world of protests, riots, mass shootings, machete attacks, bombings, terrorist attacks, if nothing else, stresses the need to not only know what to do, but how to do it. As if this wasn't a big enough task, we must have the moral courage to stand up and combat the threat as it presents itself. Now, one could certainly argue that nothing can prepare you to deal with some of the events that have unfolded in the most recent past. But I would argue that having a society that is prepared and takes a self-interest in preparing for a self-defense situation can and would have been able to make a difference in many of these situations. Our society has come to a point where its citizens have come accustomed to or have an expectation that it's someone else's job to protect me. I don't need to know how to protect myself. I don't need to own a firearm. I don't need to know how to defend myself, my wife, or my family. That is the job of the police, the security guard, or the bouncer, right? After all, I have a cell phone. I'll just call for help. Well, unfortunately, response times and the availability of shrinking resources that affect the ability of a rapid response, if any, would or should be convincing enough that we as citizens need to be able to take care of ourselves, at least for the short term, until help is able to arrive. The times we live in, just like those of our ancient ancestors, stresses the need to have a method of protection available to every member of our society. While the times have changed and the threat is no longer farm tools, swords, spears, bow and arrow, the violence is still there, and we need to be prepared to deal with it. Despite what weapon is being employed, the martial arts can make a huge difference in any situation that involves violence. We live in a modern world and need to bring a modern martial art to bear against the threat. And we need to continue to evolve our martial arts skills to meet the threats of our world as it changes. I think that KaJuKenBo is the art and that it is already in great position to counter most threats an individual could face in our society. However, some have mentioned, and rightfully so, how do we adapt to an active shooter environment? One solution could be to adapt by incorporating tactical firearms training into the martial arts that we teach. The weapons have changed in our world. Why have they not changed in the martial arts? This would definitely level the field in an active shooter environment. While this might not be such a bad idea, there's still one problem that remains. The problem is that most of these types of situations have historically happened where firearms are prohibited and where the cowards that perpetrate these crimes are able to inflict maximum damage with the least amount of resistance. So again, in reality, no firearms or any weapons of any kind are allowed where these crimes usually take place. In fact, often the countermeasures that attempt to prevent this type of catastrophe from happening in the first place also have the adverse effect of keeping law-abiding citizens from defending themselves. This leaves us with the martial arts, improvised weapons, and strategies alone to defend ourselves in such an event. Now, I can already hear the drums beating for stricter gun laws and and how the government needs to do more to protect us and our loved ones. Right or wrong, that's not what this is about. This discussion is about what we can do to combat this threat. And by we, I'm talking about us, martial arts instructors, practitioners, and the common citizen. My hope is that in creating this video, that it will solicit or provoke a response from all of you and create a discussion that will work towards a solution to mitigate the threat. Even if that is just how do we approach our teachings of the martial arts and educate our students about survival strategies. Now, I personally believe that we should advocate for teaching self-defense through martial arts in our schools. Not only would this take away the soft target, but we all know there are many positive effects that martial arts has had in our lives. It instills so many positive, and if done correctly, almost no negatives. So, with that said, some attributes worthy of mention here may include discipline, a problem in our society. Self-esteem, another problem in our society. Respect, a problem in our society. Patience, a problem in our society. Self-control, yet again, a problem in our society. Additionally, some other attributes you might mention are honor, honesty, loyalty, sincerity, spirituality, sacrifice, and I'm sure there's many more that can be obtained by the study of martial arts that I didn't list. At least, that's what I learned through my study of KaJuKenBo. Could it be, possibly, that we could make a huge difference and attack many of these threats from both directions? All just by teaching the martial arts? Additionally, I could see a big impact on many of the other problems that plague our society that include, but are not limited to, bullying, child abuse, domestic violence, rape, trafficking in persons, child abductions. I'm sure that the list could go on and on, but seriously, what can we do? I look forward to your thoughts, and I sincerely hope that this video will generate some thought and some discussion amongst all of you. Please feel free to share it, discuss it, criticize it, but please, let's not ignore the problem, and let's look at ways that we can attack it head on. Lastly, I appreciate you listening to my rant, and I thank you for your support. So please let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Send me an email at KaJuKenBo@gmail.com. That's spelled KaJuKenBo, no space, Napoli, Napoli, @gmail.com. And please hit the subscribe button down below. Again, I appreciate your support. My name is Sifu Dave Charlesworth. Thank you for your support again. Mahalo.